Everyone, I'm Dr. Nisha and Jacob from Career Guidance and Adolescent Counseling Cell, Alapura. Today, we are going to talk about the future of our entire planet and a massive rupees 20,000 crore mystery right here in India. Today's article is titled A Bit of a Blur Over India's New Carbon Credit Plan, written by Dr. Akalgud and Ganeshmurthy. Let me tell you, when Dr. Ganeshmurthy speaks, we should listen. Dr. Ganeshmurthy is a fellow of National Academy of Agricultural Sciences and Indian Society of Soil Science. He has served as an emeritus scientist at the Indian Institute of Horticultural Research in Bengaluru and a former dean at the Central Agriculture University in Manipur. His expertise bridges the gap between the high-level policy and the soil beneath our feet. In Union Budget 2026, the government announced a massive rupees 20,000 crore outlay for a carbon credit program. But immediately, a wave of confusion swept the nation. What is this money actually for? Is it to help heavy industries clean up their act? Or is it a pioneering scheme to help our farmers earn money through sustainable agriculture? Over the very few next minutes, we are going to decode this blur, separate the facts from the social media fiction, and understand what this means for our economy and our environment. To understand the confusion, we have to look at two entirely different stories running parallel in the media right now. Narrative 1, the industrial cleanup. Official documents point to something called CCUs, carbon capture, utilization, and storage. In simple terms, this is technologically designed for hard-to-abate industries. Think of massive power plants, steel mills, cement factories, and refineries. These places produce concentrated greenhouse gases. The goal of CCUs is to literally capture the carbon dioxide right out of the factory flues, the smokestacks, and either use it industrially or store it deep underground. Narrative 2, the climate smart farmer. On the other side, a persistent story has been floating around social media and news articles claiming this massive budget is actually for farmers. The idea is that farmers can adopt regenerative practices like planting trees, that's agroforestry, using biochar, or sequestering carbon in the soil and earn carbon credits which they can sell. This frames the farmer as the ultimate climate solutionist. So which one is it? According to the detailed research and development roadmap released by the Department of Science and Technology in late 2020s, the answer is definitely the first one. This specific rupees 20,000 crore fund is earmarked for large-scale deployment of CCUS technologies in heavy industry. Agriculture is explicitly not on this list. Now, as someone from a state where agriculture is so deeply tied to our culture and livelihood, hearing that agriculture is excluded might sound alarming. But Dr. Ganeshmurthy explains exactly why this actually is technically sound. It comes down to the nature of emissions. Industrial emissions are point source. You can point to a giant smokestack and say, this is the carbon. Let's put a filter on it. Agricultural emissions, however, are diffuse or spreading over a wide area. They spread out over millions of hectares of land and are biologically mediated, meaning they come from natural process in the soil, crops, and livestock. You cannot put a physical capture machine over a 2-acre paddy field. The roadmap rightly draws a clear line between the CCUs, preventing new carbon emissions, and CDR, carbon dioxide removal. Agriculture falls under CDR, which is the process of drawing down existing atmospheric carbon and locking it into the soil. Both are crucial, but they require completely different technologies and policies. So, where did the confusion come from? It stems from the government using the broad, familiar term carbon credit program in the budget, while the actual underlying architecture was exclusively industrial. People conflated the industrial budget with the broader voluntary carbon market. But here is the exciting part. Just because this specific rupees 20,000 crore is not for farmers doesn't mean the farmer carbon credit story is a myth. Dr. Ganesh Murthy highlights that there is a massive parallel opportunity here. Private sector initiatives and state level programs are already piloting models where farmers get paid to enhance soil organic carbon. The Agriculture Ministry has been exploring soil health and climate resilient farming for years. What India desperately needs now is a multi sectoral approach. We need the government to clearly demark these two fronts. We need the tech heavy, the 20,000 crore push for the smokestacks to meet our net zero goals. But simultaneously, we need a separate, well designed, funded policy framework for the soil, a domestic carbon market that unlocks a brand new income stream for our farmers while healing the earth. What is the importance of CCUs and carbon markets? This is our future job market. When you want to be an engineer designing carbon capture plants, an agriculture scientist developing biochar, or a financial analyst trading green credits, the climate economy is the next massive global industry. Understanding these policies puts you ahead of the curve. As educators, we must move beyond the textbook definitions of pollution and discuss real world cutting edge policy solutions. It builds critical thinking and civic awareness. Climate change affects our monsoons, our food prices, and our health. Understanding how our tax rupees, all rupees 20,000 crore rupees of them, are being deployed to secure a livable future, empowers us to hold our systems accountable and participate in sustainable practices in our own communities. I believe this dual approach, tackling both the smokestack and the soil, is the only viable path forward for India. We are a rapidly developing nation that needs industrial growth, but we are also an agricultural society where millions depend on the land. If we can successfully deploy this industrial carbon capture while simultaneously building a trusted framework that rewards our farmers for protecting the soil, we don't just reduce emissions, we create immense economic wealth in rural India and secure our energy needs. It's a win-win, provided by the policies are clear, distinct, and transparent. What are your thoughts on carbon credits? Do you see a future where farming becomes a key player in fighting climate change? Let's build a greener future together. This is Dr. Nisha and Jacob from Career Guidance and Adolescent Counseling Cell, Alapura. See you in the next